I think a lot of people that are looking to build a home hear the Barndo thing and then they're kind of like, I don't want to live in a barn. When they walk into this environment and they see this, like it feels homey, right? Like
Mhm.
it feels like, hell yeah, this does look like what I expect the inside of a home to look like. And so it's like half the battle is won.
Most of what we offer is going to be an upgrade with other builders. So we
Right.
far exceed what these other builders are putting out there. And plus, our method of building, to me, is just 10 times better.
The fact that people get to put a little bit of work in and we can create their dreams and they can determine if they're ready to do it or not
Right.
is a really big plus for me.
The way we build structurally is far superior to a stick built home. And I don't think that's even an argument anymore. We're here in the new Nexton showroom with two of our OG Summerville sales agents, Anna and Aimee. How you ladies doing?
Doing great.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Good.
Well, so let's connect a little bit here. So both of you have been here for a long time, like basically since the beginning of our existence in Summerville. Let's talk a little bit about like the area. So what moving over to Nexton Square, like what do you think the biggest advantage for that is, Anna?
We have a lot of restaurants around us.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurants. No, literally everything is around us. So if you're walking in, people can just stop by and chat, and we don't have to have as many scheduled appointments. It's just the accessibility for folks is so much better out here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and our previous showroom and kind of office was over in like the old Summerville, and then moving across to Nexton, which is like the center of the hustle and bustle. Like everything's going on over here. Every new restaurant, every new store, every new housing development, like everything is like moving to this side of town. So I think it's a pretty good opportunity to get over here and just get in front of more people. Another big shift was Summerville was the first like location that we planted outside of our original offices.
Yeah.
And when we did that, like we didn't foresee how the future would work. And so like it was a really great office, but it didn't have showroom qualities quite as much. We had that small little showroom there. And so like
The little shed in the
Yeah.
back.
Shed in the back.
so like, yeah. So, well, and like, you know, the people at headquarters, like they're always salty because all these new design centers are so nice. And like, we're still in like an office setting with a really small show design center.
Oh, yeah.
But talk about the difference, Aimee, like from being able to meet with a client in that other space, more so like what the advantage is with them walking into this design center that's now available here.
Well, I think it's just going to be in a much larger grand scale. We've got these two full kitchens in here. We've got a gourmet kitchen. We've got a standard kitchen layout. There's just a lot more space to go through the process with them and pick out their selections and go through the specking of their home.
Yeah, I think the experience side of the showrooms was a paradigm shift in how we provide a client journey. And so kind of we started in the upstate of South Carolina, then we launched Summerville, and then last year we launched our Dunn, North Carolina location. And when we did it, we had this idea of like, let's get a storefront and build a design center and just make the whole thing a design center. And when we saw how effective it was, and just, again, from a client experience side, like we took away office space and like the convenience of like an office environment and really did a 180 and put all the emphasis on a customer's experience in one of our, spaces. So like this place is incredible. Like you walk in and you can see so much, like you could tell way more of the story of what that home's going to be like walking in here versus walking into like a corporate office, and so being here, and I think location is everything. Like that's a strategic piece, I mean, we didn't have a bad location where we were, like it's easy to find us, but here, like I know that there's some events and stuff coming up, and you guys, that's all that I've heard since I walked in the doors here is about this event coming up in April and like all these different things and the amount of foot traffic. So you guys have been here. We haven't officially opened like a grand opening or ribbon cutting here yet, but you guys have moved in here like within the week, basically.
Yeah.
Have you had walk-ins or people, peering in the windows or anything?
Oh yeah, constantly. We've had a few walk-ins. A lot of people peering in the windows, curious about what's going on. I've actually had some families that I've been working with, chatting with, stopping in and kind of seeing the progress of what we've been building out here, and they've just been super impressed. So,
There's so much foot traffic around here and like all the construction and things that are happening. We're in our offices back there and we don't know if it's a client walking in or if it's just a contractor coming to build out a cabinet. And I had a guy, I literally set up my desk yesterday and this guy peeped his head around the wall and was like, "Hello? Do you work for the Barndo Co?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do. I'm so sorry. How can I help you?" And he was super awesome, but he went to our old office in old Summerville and then had to come back over here. But he was super impressed when he walked into this showroom versus what, we had before because our old experience was just so much different.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, it's completely different. And I think it was a big shift as we scaled, we didn't need as much office space as much as we needed to be able to tell the story. And so I
Right.
think there's a lot of people that think about a barndominium, and like a lot of people are on it, right? Like it's a hot topic. There's tons of people that follow it. They understand it. But I think a lot of people that are looking to build a home hear the Barndo thing and then they're kind of like, I don't want to live in a barn, right? We
Mhm.
still deal with that. Even though like inside of the barndominium world, there's a lot of people in the grand scheme of things. It's literally like 1 to 2% of people building are doing this style of build. Even where we exist, it's probably less than that in other areas. But like knowing that it's a really niche product and a big part of the game is educating clients on what makes us different, but also what's the same. And I think the showrooms do that at a level that's like makes people when they walk into this environment and they see this, like it feels homey, right? Like
Mhm.
it feels like, hell yeah, this does look like what I expect the inside of a home to look like. And so it's like half the battle is won. And then, tons of people come out and meet you guys on site. You guys are
Yeah.
doing open houses and things like that. And we tend to do those a lot of times, like in the construction process, because we want them to be able to see the differences of how we build it. But what was really cool when I came in here is you guys have like kind of like these two little models, like even showing the construction pieces, which are just new things that the marketing team put together. And, it's fun to finally see those things rolling out in all the showrooms. But what do you think if like serving your clients, serving Summerville, specific to this market, what are some of the most frequently asked questions you get when people are coming in and they are kind of courting the idea of a barndominium, right? They've heard some of the buzz, they've got connected somehow, and they come in and you're on that initial call with them. Like, what are some of those things you hear all the time?
I mean, I can say it's really like if a couple comes to me, right? Like a husband and a wife. The husband is like, "Man, I really want this big garage. I'm trying to talk my wife into it, but she really wants a gourmet kitchen." I'm like, "Dude, have you looked at our Facebook page? Like, I don't know. I don't know how we got here, but we need to do some more research." Like, because at the end of the day, I describe our homes as like a high-end custom home in a Barndo style. So the guys get what they want. You get to feel as industrial as you want or as you don't want. So realistically, in my opinion, our builds are just for people that don't want the same thing as everybody else.
Yep.
Like if you want a cookie cutter house and you want a stick built, um, you know, neighborhood home, then we're just not for you. The people that come to me and my clients, they're for the people that want to do something different, but still have high quality finishes and still be in the comfort of a custom home. But, you still want to impress your friends a little bit.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're so different and it's something that you can't understand until you experience it.
Right.
And the experience for clients in this office versus our other office allows people to experience it so much quicker.
Right.
Before, if you walked in our old office, the experience that you got was like this cozy office and my golden doodle would run up to you. But like that's as Barndo as we got is our little Summerville Barndo dog. And now you come in and we have this huge showroom and you see our stone and all of our finishes and all of the things. And I feel like it allows you to understand our construction style and what our builds actually are so much faster. I mean, it's not something that we can explain.
Right.
It's just something you have to feel.
I love it. How about you?
I find a lot of times people are just looking for something different. They're tired of being in the HOAs. They're tired of being in the communities. They want something that's a little bit more private, something that they can customize to what they want and not have to make sacrifices. Because we build at an affordable cost for most people. Ideally, they come in not knowing a lot of information. So it's my job to educate them about the build process, the type of build, the process, and what that's going to look like, and let them decide if we're going to be the best fit for them. To me, it's just all about creating the experience and just laying it out for them what to expect if you choose to use the Barndo Co as your build.
Yeah. No, I love it. The choose us, don't use us strategy
Yep.
is the right way
Yep.
because I think a lot of people, again, they're interested, but
Yes.
until we kind of stake flags in these
Yep.
areas, there wasn't really a chance to go and look
Yep. Mhm.
and get real informative information about it, And so some of the things that we did was like we got really strategic on what we did, and we were doing a few different things in the beginning, and now we really offer one thing, and that is a turnkey, move in ready, semi custom to custom home built in this barndominium style, right? And we educate people on the advantages of the way we build, and then we show them all the options that they can do inside to make that home unique to them. And we're not just a barn builder that says like, hey, we yeah, for sure we can also do barndominiums. No, we literally only do this one thing, and we build with a homeowner in mind every step of the way, right? We're not thinking about this as like what's the most economical way to build a tractor shed, or an animal barn, a horse stall, and then oh yeah, for sure we can put some insulation and drywall up. We're approaching it as a build system, right? That's ready to be lived in, that's planned to be heated and cooled. We're taking into consideration living, right? Like this is where you're living, and we're building with some building science behind every single build that we have going on, right? So like we're doing hundreds of these a year over and over and over, and we're constantly improving the process. We're constantly increasing things or changing a standard because we used to do it this way and then we did it this way and this way was so much better. We kind of almost do away with the previous and just constantly elevate what we're doing as a company, and include it in our standard pricing. Um, what do you think's been, and I guess I'll pick on you first, Aimee. What do you think's been your best experience being in sales, like in a new market with this new company, and you'd been in new home
Yeah.
construction for years, and
Yeah.
like you came here, and I can remember when you first came, you were like, do we have any like marketing sheets? What do we have? Like, how do we communicate with these people? We're like,
Yeah.
Aimee, we're doing good to be here. But like you've done this and you've sold
Yeah.
hundreds, if not thousands, of new construction
Yeah.
homes, and then to come to Barndo and have this really niche product that's really unique, and there's not tons of competition, and like it's a different person coming in to build this. Both of you said it. We're servicing people who want something different. And I used to joke with people back in the day when I was doing sales, is like, a lot of people build their home and then they go try to find their conversation piece. With us, when you build your home becomes the conversation piece.
Yeah.
So for you, what's that been like? What's one of your coolest experiences or
Gosh.
stories?
I've been doing this for years and I've worked for a number of different builders. And I can honestly say my experience working here at the Barndo Co, comes from starting with the core values of the company. That's something that really sold me on Barndo and what they stood for and the core values, and really having that customer care aspect of things too. We're not just building a home, we're building a dream for people. And then just seeing the processes and being able to be part of implementing new processes and give feedback, but just overall, just being able to come in and provide an experience. I mean, our standards and finishes outweigh or so much better than any of our competitors out there. I mean, I tell that in a lot of my conversations with new clients that are calling in to get information about us. Based on my experience, most of what we offer is going to be an upgrade with other builders. So we far exceed what these other builders are putting out there. And plus, our method of building, to me, is just 10 times better. So,
Yeah, no, it's far superior for sure.
yeah.
And I think there's like a lot of times there's price confusion, right? And again, that happens with anything that isn't being done on a mass scale. And in Barndo world, you have a lot of places where people are building themselves. right? They're hodgepodging something together, which is cool. Like that's part of like I don't hate on that. I don't care what way you built it, right? Like Barndo's almost a way of life, right? Like you've determined like I don't want the mainstream. I don't want that way. I'm going to do something unique and different. And it's a different pool of people that are trying to achieve a different thing. And we provide that kind of streamline, right? Like we're taking all of that hard work and labor intensive and all, solving a lot of those problems for people and then offering it a done for you solution. But the way we build structurally is far superior to a stick built home. And I don't think that's even an argument anymore. But I think there is confusion when it comes to kind of like some of that flat rate pricing that we offer to where people go, well, I mean, man, I can go down the road and build with this other builder for the same or less. But then when you look at it from an apples to apples comparison and, say like, and that's what I love about onboarding is it gives clients a chance to come in, spend a little bit of money, take this dream, put it on paper, spend some time, pick everything out, and then get that number. And then you've been, given knowledge, right, as a consumer. Then go talk to other builders. Then go do your stuff. Like, don't take their out of the box approach because we include so many things in our base packages that you're right, are upgrades. Anywhere else you go. You go to any builder in America, metal roof is an upgrade, right? Anything above like vinyl siding is an upgrade. To do metal siding, they probably wouldn't even offer it, but to get it would be an upgrade. To go to a 6-inch exterior wall cavity, that's an upgrade. To do a whole home spray foam encapsulation, that's an upgrade. To do LVP in any room is an upgrade. Like all of those things combined, just in and of itself, right there is your price increase. But then to take it a step further and know that every faucet and fixture in that home's Delta, right? Like, and it's the best. It's the best possible thing you could get from cabinets. Like we don't do low budget builder grade cabinets. Like even our lower end cabinet offerings are upgrade options for most builders.
Every builder.
Yeah, every builder. And so, and then, the tile selections and all the other, accessories to the build, like where we start at a lot of people's upgrade. And so I think once people see that, and like when you walk in and really get to view it, that's what I love about these design centers is you see the things. It's not just words on a paper. It's not just my voice telling you about it. It's seeing it.
That's the transparency of it all too.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and that's the cool thing too about the onboarding side for me is like it is transparency.
The baby step. It's a small little baby step in the process.
And then you get it and you go. And if you don't build with us, cool. But at least when you go talk to the next 5-6 people, you have something to compare it to from a proposal standpoint. So I love it. I love it. How about you? So like you've been here for what, 2 years?
Yeah, almost.
Yeah? And you've worked with a variety of clients and done a lot of different things. And you kind of came in just young, guns blazing, like, and this is your first rodeo with new construction, and you walked right into this thing. So like, what's that been like for you? And what's like a cool experience or story that you've had working here?
Honestly, as much as I wish that I would have had like the experience that Aimee did before I came into this and all of the things, I'm so grateful for like the way that I've been able to soak up everything. Because frankly, when I started here, Summerville had been a thing for maybe 2 months. So I learned literally everything that I know from you and Alicia, our director of sales, I guess director of client experience now. Yep. So everything that I know just came from that, and it just trickled down, and I soaked up everything that I could. And one of the things that I did learn was that honestly, I hate that my title is sales consultant because I'm not selling anybody. And people get shocked when they talk to me on the phone and they're like, you're not going to try to convince me to do all these things. And I'm like, I'm not here to convince anybody to do anything. If you don't want to build with us and this isn't your cup of tea, I don't want you to move forward. Right. Like I only want these people to move forward that truly believe in our product. And I'm so grateful that like soaking this in and learning it up, it's not something that I had to sell, because at the end of the day, this is our product. It is superior. It's just whether you want it or not. Right. And then as I've learned about like all of our finishes, all of like Barndo specific things, having Aimee beside me from week 1, I'm like asking her questions and she's like, bro, what do you mean they're not paying any extra for it? And I'm like, I don't know. TJ told me it was free. Like TJ,
when TJ was giving it all away. We can
Everyone,
do it. We can put a slide in the upstairs.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know.
we're
TJ
making
said they
heads
can
roll
have
now,
this.
guys. Yeah. No, we became more profitable when I quit doing sales.
Oh yeah.
But no, you're right though. So like, and that you have that because you came here 1st, right? We don't push. We don't like. Of course, any business has a quota, and we're trying to forecast and then hit as accurately to it as we can. But the thing about it is like the more it becomes readily available and accessible, and people can see it, more people just come in and do it. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times people have been searching for this solution. They didn't even know we existed, which is so hard for me to believe from a marketing standpoint. But again, I just had this conversation with our marketing team at the beginning of the year. Was like, we've done a great job finding Barndo people and letting them know how to get in touch with us. Like, I don't think we can do any better. There's not much more we could do. If you type in Barndominium anywhere in the world, pretty much, you're going to find us. But tapping into new home builds, build on your lots, and all these things where it's saturated with builders, being able to grab those people who've never even considered this product, bring them in, explain what it is, and then see them step into something they didn't even know was a possibility. That's the next step. That's that next growth hump that we're moving into. And that comes from just being a presence in a community, which is something that I love too, is like, you talk about mission, vision, core values, all those things is like, and you nailed it with the way you approach that thing is like, we don't want to just build your home, right? We want to build communities by doing business with people who share our values. And if you aren't that person, we're not the builder for you, and vice versa. We want you to tell us, hey, we're not your builder, but we also want to be able to qualify and tell you, hey, you're not our client.
Yeah.
And we're okay with that. Again, we're not here to twist your arm to convince you that you need to do this. We're here to offer it and show you why it can be a benefit. But then again, if it doesn't meet your criteria and doesn't meet what you're looking for, we don't want to build it.
No.
And so it's fun. It's fun to be in a position to where we can have a truth and transparent conversation, because it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about, as many as we can possibly do. We want to educate people to know that this is an option, and it's a mainstream option, and we've built a road for more people to get it that want it, but also educating people who have no idea it even exists, that it might be something that they desire too.
I think it's something that we've truly always been authentically ourselves. So whether that's in business, whether that's just in, making friends out in the real world, when you're authentically yourself, you attract more authentic people.
Yep.
And I mean, that's just what we've always been. And so now that we're in Nexton and we have more foot traffic and all these things, people are hearing about us. I mean, it's great, but we still have that community, and we still have the people that came to us because we're very transparent, because we're authentic, because no matter what, whether I'm selling a Barndo or a pig, I'm authentically myself too. And I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? You're going to hold me to a high standard as my client, but I'm going to hold you to a high standard too. But like, I love it. Recently, I've found myself a part of a Charleston rugby community. I didn't even know what rugby was 2 months ago, but now I've got about 3 clients that play rugby. My niece is in rugby. I mean, it just gets wild, and the whole rugby team is calling me because, I mean, one person loved it. Yep. One person came, took a chance, and they love what we offer.
Right.
And that's one thing that we've really tried to do here in the Summerville market is work together as a team to get our name out there, whether it's been participating in Third Thursday in downtown Summerville. This last month, we just did an oyster roast over in Berkeley County. We've done several presentations with realtors and lunch and learns, and just getting out there and letting the community know, hey, we're here, we exist, we'd love to work with you, we'd love for you to come in and see what we're all about, has been a lot of fun. And I really think that this team here in the Low Country has really embraced not only the Barndo culture, but getting out there and spreading out here in the Summerville market.
Yeah, well, what's really fun about that is like company culture, I feel like we have a really good one.
Yeah.
Individual markets, it takes a little time. So you look at the company overall, great. You look at Duncan, and it's pretty cohesive. And there's a lot of people in the Duncan market because all of our HQ's there.
Everybody's there,
plus the sales team, plus all the project management. And so like you really have this giant melting pot of people all in one area. And so it's always been a big culture boom, right? Because you got people. And then in all these new markets, that's kind of a thing that takes a minute, right? Like you have to get a team in there. You have to start doing life together. You have to start building that locally. And it takes a little bit of time. Summerville is moving into this, third year, second year kind of thing. And it's happening. And so it's fun for me to sit back and see you guys doing things. And like for me, that's the greatest thing in the world. I'm all people focused all the time. And so like I watch everything. And I was going to mention that like Third Thursdays and the oyster roast, and y'all are taking photos. And then like even on social media, I'd be stalking, right? So I'm looking, and like y'all are like hanging out with each other. And like there's all kinds of things happening because that's part of the identity of the company, right? Like we're big on the fact that like, hey, we're not just human doings, right? We're human beings, and you got to build community, and you have it here, right? And it's fun to watch that happen. Like this showroom launch and all that's kind of like coming in all at the same time to a big established team here, and all the pieces are starting to fall into place to actually have something here that's can stand on its own. And that's fun because we're launching offices all the time. And like when you launch an office, you launching it with, minimal viable options. It's a small team with a small focus, and then it starts growing. And this is the first satellite office where we get to look and be like, this is what it looks like a couple of years in, right?
Yeah.
And it just takes a little time. So that's been super fun for me to just see it kind of blossom here with everybody.
It's fun for us, but I will say it's weird. Like,
remember it was just 3 of us.
It was
Me,
just
you,
like-
and Alicia
Yeah.
here in the office. And now we've got Jordan, and we've got Kathy, and we've got this team that we've built here. And it's just seeing where we were and where we're headed and where we are now is just, it's just gives me chills. I love it.
people ask me about events, and they're like, how many people are coming? I'm like, what do you mean? It's me and Aimee. It's 2 of us. And then I'm like, wait a minute. I need like 6 tickets. Like, we've got a whole office now.
Yeah. So this episode is sponsored by the Barndo Co. You can visit us online at thebarndoco.com and get started building your dream barndominium today. We specialize in build on your lot turnkey barndominium solutions. We have a whole gallery of plans that you can explore through. You can also go full custom route. You can get in touch with us through the website by filling out the contact us form, and one of our Barndo professionals will reach out to you, get your dream started today. So let me ask you this. Working here, so we talked a lot about like clients and how you engage and all these different things. Like working here, what would you say to someone? Because we are constantly pushing into new markets, and we're getting ready to do ribbon cutting here, right, for the grand opening of this office, Greensboro, Conway, and we're already cooking new locations in the background for what's next. That never goes away, and so like moving into these areas, and we're constantly recruiting new people, and it's all based on growth. What would you say to like your experience working here beyond just the job aspect? Like what's something that's super important to you that you feel like you could get here that might be hard to find somewhere else?
I think our culture that we have as a company, it's just a great culture, and having that right fit or having that person that fits that culture is very important to us. So I think that we've actually really built something, that aligns with that here. And unfortunately, there's been times that people have come on board and it just hasn't been the right culture fit. But at the end of the day, I think that's the most important thing to me. And I've been out there, talking with friends that have been in the industry, trying to recruit, because we've got some more positions that are going to be opening up here in the Summerville location. And it's just being able to tell the stories about the culture, about, it's the work-life balance, the family comes first, and just what we stand for. It just makes it easy to go out there and be a cheerleader for the Barndo Co, to bring this new talent on board and just talk with excitement what it's all about. Because I've been in the industry for years and I've worked for other companies, but to work for somebody who actually stands behind their words and sticks to it is just, it's wonderful.
And it's not always easy.
No.
It's not always, especially the bigger you get, right? It's a constant ebb and flow of like, how do we maintain this? And that's the number one question, because that's for me is like, how do we keep this while also growing to that? And it's just intentionality. It's a lot of intentionality, and we mess things up all the time, but we go back and write them and do the right thing, and we try to keep that cohesiveness So it feels small even when it gets big.
But we
Right.
all work together to be what we say 1% better every single day.
Yep.
You know, we're going to fail. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be things that don't work out, but we all work together to be better and do better and support each other.
So Anna, what about company events and stuff like that? Like, what's been your favorite event that we've done as a team?
If I could get some crawfish at a grand opening, it'd be that one. I've been pushing for that since the other office opened. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm actually not. That's not true. I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding. You've been saying that for 2
Yeah,
years.
I'm not kidding.
All right, guys. So you hear it first here. When you see the grand opening, there may or may not be crawfish.
You will see a crawfish sometime.
Oh my gosh.
No, I think one of the most important things that I feel about our events and things like that is that I don't have a very big social battery. But so sometimes it's a little intimidating to walk up to like all these people and have all these conversations and things like that. But it's so, everyone is so authentic and everybody's true to themselves. And we're all just so laid back. And like, I don't feel like we need to be like structured. Like I try to stay professional, but I'm also myself. And I think everybody else around us is too. So it's all super easy. But I think we just truly show what our intentions are behind our events, behind the Carolina Miracle League, behind if somebody looked at where our money went, I mean, you could see what our goals are. And our money goes out to the community and out to do the things that impact other people. So it's not about, I'm not out here selling houses every day just because, you know, I want to get rich. We're out here because people need what we're offering. And like, there's a big impact that we can make on the community. And that's what our events show.
Yeah, I love it.
Over income.
Yeah.
Impact over income, baby. I love it. I love it that trickles down everywhere. I was speaking to a room full of realtors yesterday and I was telling that story, and then to be here and hear you guys saying it back to me, it's just like, it's fun. It's full circle. Because I mean, it was a day and time where this was just an idea, right? It was like me and Ross. You talk about having a small team. It was just me and Ross in a pickup truck, and we're riding around in cow pastures talking about what we could do.
Yeah.
You know, to see it really blossom into this, and know that we got really high quality people that not are just capable of doing their job, but really champion that vision and that mission and like own it, you know, and get to be a part of that. Like it's a big deal to be a part of something, and you know that you contribute to our ability to go out and impact those areas, right? Impact this area, but you're also helping us impact areas that you don't even live in. So
Right.
like every time we open a new office, like everybody is chipping in for the ability to make an impact in a new community. And even here in Summerville, right? Even those hard days, long days, difficult conversations and all those things, like at the end of the day, that builds a path to make an impact somewhere new. In addition to your own market. So that's super fun for me. I guess let me ask you this. Favorite project that you've seen, or favorite finish that you've put in something like let's talk you guys. We were sitting here today, like there's 2 kitchens here.
Yeah.
And before we even went live, Anna's over here like, Aimee hates that kitchen. She likes this kitchen, but I like that kitchen. How does that play in? So like you guys have, you know, if I turned you loose in here and said, hey, go spec the perfect Barndo, it ain't gonna look the same.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you take that and also not have bias when you're working with clients? Because I know clients come in and pick things and you're like, seriously?
Mhm.
But like, what does that look like? Like
I have bias.
what are things that make you excited to work on? From it could be the style of the build they're doing, like monitor, or if it's a big gable, or if it's big porches. Like when a client calls and they mention that, like what's the one thing that gasses you up? Like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun. And then what's the thing that where you're like, oh boy?
Production's going to hate me for my answer because they hate every time I send a plan over and it looks like that. But I love, and I'm throwing them in all kinds of builds lately. People that are doing the full view garage doors in the back.
Yeah.
So like you open up and then the bell build out in Summerville, it has it. And it's just so pretty. That one specifically has a pond in the back.
That bell build, I think, was
It's gorgeous. Yeah.
absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. Production hates it. And I get so many calls and they're like, is this going to be a garage door? Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Put it back there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's one of those things like it's just part of the experience for Barndo. Like that is a thing, is having a garage door from a living space that opens up onto a porch or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, we're building outside of the box. And the big thing is, like, if you look at our builds, you have 25 or 30% is porches. And so you get massive porches. If I could just sell, like, beyond structural, beyond everything else, if I said, hey, what's the biggest difference in one of your builds in a mass produced home? Be like, the porches.
Yeah.
There's so much porch. But when you do that, and you got people that are tying the outdoors to the indoors and indoors to the outdoors, these big garage doors. Now it is a production nightmare because there is a certain way to do it for longevity. So that it is comfortable, right? If you're in Summerville, South Carolina, beyond the heat index, you got bugs, right?
Mhm.
You don't want them coming in and out. So, like, how do we do that and make sure that thing is sealed up, seated right? But not only that, it looks nice when it's closed or open from the inside of the home. And so those are the things we're thinking about. And it's just different. And then we have to educate subcontractors and other people on how to do it, because I don't even think it's so much our team as much as it is the people who are helping us build.
Yeah.
Especially in new markets. They're like, what do you mean we're putting a garage door off of the dining room to the back porch? And so, it's constantly educating and evolving teams to be able to do it, and also making sure that we get the right things, because we've done those before to where we're like, I don't think this is the way we should do those. And then we've done them to where they're absolutely gorgeous, with the full glass and all that kind of stuff. And it's an expensive upgrade, but people want it, sell it. I love it too. I think
Yeah.
it looks so cool.
The calls from production, they're like, how do you want me to do this? I'm like, I don't know. TJ told me I could do it.
Yeah.
He did it.
They hate TJ said.
Yeah, I know.
They hate
2 years
TJ
ago.
said.
I don't know. TJ taught me that I
Yeah.
could do whatever I want to do.
Yeah, I've had a few custom builds come through the pipeline for me over this last year or so. So it's been really exciting to me to see these families that have come in essentially with a piece of paper, or even sometimes I've seen it drawn on a napkin or a sketch pad of what they're looking to do, what their dream home is going to look like, and working with them and taking them through that process from design and planning and speccing and just seeing it all come together is probably one of my favorite parts about the process.
You do a lot of those monitor style builds too, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
we
that's
have
what I
about
thought.
3 of them.
Yeah.
4 of 'em right now.
No, the monitor's cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
like when I see the monitor builds, I'm like, that's a barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm partial to them as well. But let me ask you this. So this is something that's always brought up, and we've driven it home, and I've talked about it 7 ways from Sunday, but we have to keep talking about it, because in addition to being a unique build style, our process is kind of unique, right? Someone gets scheduled, they come in, they talk to one of you ladies, and they have this little discovery call. What's the first step for them to get started after that?
They peep their head into our office and are like, do you work here?
Right? What's the first step? So, like, they have the call and they're like, man, I want to do this. What do you tell them to do?
Let's get you on board and get this process started.
So what is
Yeah.
onboarding, and why is it important?
Onboarding to me is an exploratory period. So I tell folks, it's your first baby step. Yeah, it is. You're going to get the ball rolling with us. But realistically, for the next 60 to 90 days, we're going to talk all the time. We're going to lay out all the details of your build. You're going to tell me exactly what you want. And then we're going to decide if it's feasible or not. We're going to decide if this is what you want to do or if we're not the right option for you. I mean, I love it because we go through absolutely every detail, especially being in the low country. I mean, there's a lot of low ground and people that think they want to build a barndo, but actually they're on the beach and they need some stilts. And I'm like, ooh, I'm so sorry. I'm glad we talked. I'm glad we had this conversation, but Garrett went out and he said we can't do it.
Right.
But like, we just explore so many options. Or there's people that think that they can't build on the piece of property that they have. And we come out and we're like, dude, this is 10 grand and we got you rocking and rolling. This is a super simple fix. So just the fact that people get to put a little bit of work in and we can create their dreams and they can determine if they're ready to do it or not is a really big plus for me.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you? What's your perspective on onboard?
I just feel, especially for those who have never been through the process of building a home before, the onboarding process is specifically designed to help guide them through, answer all those unknowns, get those
Yeah.
questions answered, from your site work, your site prep, your utilities, any grading work that you need to have done. I've got a lot of builds that happen to be in Charleston County, and Charleston County has a lot of regulations that you have to follow. So it's just being able to work with them and guide them through and help take some of that stress off of them too, because it is a very stressful process when you're looking into building your dream home. But at the end of the day, it's very rewarding to them. I'm always going to be transparent and let them know you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days. There's going to be ebbs and flows. It's just part of the process. But the onboarding, it's designed to help guide you through, and that's what it's designed to do. At the end of the day, we hope that you're going to use us as your builder of choice. Most times they do, and it's just the process of helping you get there to make that deciding factor.
Yeah. I mean, basically, they start with an idea.
Yeah.
They onboard, and when they leave that stage, right, that leads them to a proposal, right? And look, the more we've done it and the more in depth we've gotten the process, we're getting really dang close to hitting those proposals dead on the head, right?
I remember they were paper books when I first started.
100%.
We were highlighting.
What
and
is this? Like, please, tell me what this is.
Yeah, there you go, guys. So if you're in a business and you're thinking about like you got to have the perfect process, remember you
just
don't
a
start
pink highlighter.
You don't start perfect.
Yeah. Just seeing where we've come with that process from 2 years ago when I started to where we're at now with our, client experience coordinators and just all the roles that we brought in and the new systems that we put into place. I've just really seen things run a lot more smoother and streamlined, that we put a lot of these new processes
Just
and things
think,
in place.
if you wouldn't have pitched as many fits as you did, we wouldn't have these processes. I'd still be highlighting little circles.
No, it's just like the more you do, the better you get.
Yeah.
That's true in anything you do.
Yeah.
More reps, the better you get. And like the cool thing about that onboard though is at that proposal phase, right? In the onboard side, they're giving you needs and wants, right? And wishes, right? And then you're putting it all together, and then they see that number and they're like, oh, oh man, yeah. And so then you have the ability to then go back and constructively remove things, work around the numbers, and really dial it in based on their budget, what they need, what they want. But also at that time, they have an intelligent system to go talk, and they have plans, right? And they can take. Well, we may be the only builder in America that'll let you take our plans and build with another builder.
Yeah.
But we do it because we're not. I'm not so scarce minded that I think that no one else can do what we do. It's just I think we're better than anyone else that does it. And so if you don't feel that way, I want you to go find someone who can build your dream and make it come true. But I want to give you all the tools so that you can go in there and talk intelligently with them. And if you only use us for the onboarding, that's a good start. And again, our objective is to earn that business through that process. And that's why you say transparency. You both said the word transparency so many times, and authentic, right? If you want to be authentic and you want to be transparent, then put the customer in the driver's seat, right? Don't pull them in. Don't loop them in. Don't have some kind of thing where you're getting their finger in the trap. And I think oftentimes people get confused by that because we live in such a heavily marketed and sales forward society that you can't even go to a website without having to put your email in to get 10% off. And you're like, I don't want that. I'll pay full price. I don't want your emails. You're thinking there's a sales booby trap somewhere. And really onboarding was designed to combat that, to say, hey, we're going to charge you for the time to do this and the skill set to provide you what you need. And then you determine if we're the builder for you, and we're going to give it to you. And if we're not, take everything you paid for with you and go make the best decision for you and your family. And I don't think we could ever change that model, because there's no way to become more authentic and transparent than that, other than the fact that when we give you a proposal, we also are giving you a fixed rate cost, and that is your cost, right?
Yeah.
We're not saving receipts, and we're not applying a back end markup. We're saying that we'll build it for this, and we'll assume the risk on that if you sign in the next 48 hours or whatever the timeline is to get that proposal accepted, right? Here's what we can do it for. If you accept, then we'll lock that price in for you, and that's what you pay. And those are two very critical pieces to what makes us different, not just by product, but by a process and core values standpoint of, we want you to be in control. We want you to make the choice. We don't want you to feel like you came in, you asked some questions, and we put a hook in you and drug you across the finish line. We want to empower you to make a decision that's best for you and your family. And if it's with us, fantastic. If it's not, tell us what we could have done to earn the business, and then we can get better too, right? So that's super fun. Well, ladies, I'm excited about the market. I'm excited about what you guys are doing. You guys are down here thriving, building community, doing all these things. This place is amazing. There's going to be a lot of jealous people
Yes.
when they see this
Oh, yeah.
in the company, because you may have, I'm pretty confident this is the nicest design center that we have to date. So
date.
you know, now my goal is to make you guys salty with one that we put somewhere else. So let's
Well,
see.
A year ago, our showroom fit our whole company, and it was a little shed in the back.
Yeah.
So
Remember that
next
before we
year,
went fishing?
next year we'll be, I don't know, in a Bass Pro Shop somewhere.
Well, thank you so much for coming on doing the show. I love you
Welcome.
guys, and I love what you've done down here in Summerville, making it its own unique identity. Like, it's just different here. Summerville
Yeah.
has become its own culture, and that's what was needed, because you guys can take people in this area and take them on an educated experience and give them what they're looking for that's unique to the people that live here.
Yeah.
And so we couldn't have done it
A lot of
without
fun.
you.
Very enjoyable and a lot of fun.
All right. Well, thanks for doing the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.